Hey guys, so this is the second video of our series of how to use a foam roller, okay? Like I said in the first, these are my two personal foam rollers. As you can see, this one's taken a lot of battering. I've used this quite a lot throughout its lifetime, and so has this, if you can see the wrinkles on it. The reason why I have two is traditionally I started off with a company called Trigger Point. It's a brilliant foam roller, it does the job. What I was looking for as I kind of used it more and more, and because I have an active lifestyle and create a lot of tension within my lifestyle, I wanted something a little bit deeper so it could penetrate a little bit deeper into the muscle to help relieve some of the sore spots that I was getting but couldn't really release at. So I invested into a company called Rumble Roller, which is their firm roller, if you will. So they have two options. They now have three options. Their Gator, which is similar to this, and then two versions like this. There's a blue one and a pink one, which is slightly softer, and then this is their firmest one, which I kind of invested in just because doing what I'm doing. Okay. So today we're going to be showing you a full body routine. It's going to be covering literally everything from your head to toe, front and back of your body, and it's a brilliant kind of all in all on how to use a foam roller. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to use my rumble roller for it. Starting off with the back, okay, you want to be placing it kind of mid back. Okay. Now, a lot of people wonder why we don't kind of necessarily go into the lower part of the back, and what it does, it places a lot of pressure on the spine as you're kind of fully extended, because you have to lift up your hips. You're going to embrace your core, and potentially you may want to kind of support your neck if you have a lot of tension in your neck, or kind of your upper back and lower back muscles are kind of fairly weak. Okay, so all you're going to do is, I personally cross over my hands and I'm rolling just like so. Just like that, focusing on going up as tall as I can to that mid-back range. So if you're female, it's kind of like just above or below your bra strap, and if you're male, it's kind of literally that big middle section of your back. Imagining you're not wearing a bra. Okay, so what you'll notice as I do it, okay, as I'm foam rolling, I'm pretty much pushing myself further and further away. So you'll need to be careful when you're using your foam rollers, just because you'll notice that you'll end up moving around your room quite a lot, right? So make sure you get one, a bit of space for you to do the movements, and two, just enough room so you don't hurt yourself, and being aware of what's around your head as you're looking this way. You don't want to kind of bang into any furniture, you're going to hurt yourself. Okay, so once I've done that, some of you are going to find a little bit of a stress in the neck as you hold it, okay? So you may want to do that. And the reason why you bring your elbows nice and wide, okay, is because your shoulder blades will then move, and it will give you greater access to those muscles in the upper back, okay? So I start by there, I then do exact same movements, okay? Coming up nice and tall, getting a little bit deeper into my upper back. Okay, and then last but not least, I draw it in nice and tight. Again, not putting any stress on my shoulders or my neck, more importantly. Okay, and then as I foam roll, I'm literally just supporting my head. But what it has done again is separating my shoulder blades so I can get a little bit deeper in between the shoulder blades and the spine and those kind of muscles that are in the upper trap there. Okay, from there, going around to your lats just by here, okay? It's a big major muscle in the back, okay? And what it also does is lead up into the shoulder, just like so. And you kind of position yourself kind of half on, just like that. Now, by placing the back of your arm up against the foam roller, okay, you're going to be working your tricep as well. Now, it's completely normal for it to be, any of this to be relatively painful, and that pain is effectively the soreness within the muscles. The more you do it, the less pain you're going to be in, okay? So don't be discouraged at the start when you first start foam rolling, and that's the reason why I had my other foam roller in the first place. I kind of built up a tolerance to it before I went out and got something spiky like this, okay? So from there, what you're going to do, you're going to lift up your hips, and you'll just slide into the top of the shoulder, okay? And you're driving down to
just above the elbow, okay? You're not putting any pressure on the elbow, just above, and you're going to either feel it in your triceps depending on the tension, or you're also going to feel it in those trap muscles just by there, and potentially up in the backs of your shoulder as you come through, okay? Now, typically when I'm doing this, I either give myself a number, so I say, right, I'm going to do 10 to 20 rolls on that certain area, okay? Or I give myself a time base where I'm kind of doing anything from 30 seconds to a minute on each area, and then before long I kind of whiz through my body, okay? So once I've done one side, I spin round on the other, okay? And then that's those lats and those kind of backs of the shoulders, backs of the triceps, all done and dusted. After I've done that, what I'm then going to do is jump up onto your bum, okay? Now, my go-to is just like so. I then hold onto my shin, okay, and I lean onto the side that is bent, okay? So I lift up my shorts a little and I'm just rolling it to the top of the shorts, okay, top of my hip, right down to the bony part of my bum, if you will, as I lean onto that one side and just support myself just like that, okay? Now there's another way of foam rolling that I think is a little bit more beneficial, so I don't know if you've ever seen it or tried it, but give this one a go, where you turn your foam roller this way, you sit on it in the middle and you do the same. Now just be aware that, like, obviously it's a little bit more balance involved in this one, okay, and you're just rolling back to the side, okay, and back up, okay, and what that does is just go a little bit deeper into your glutes, and specifically right up to the top of kind of side of your femur, just before you go down the leg. So what that looks from a frontal point of view is, there I am, okay, I'm sitting on here, crossing over the legs, holding. Now you don't need to hold if you don't want to, if your balance is a bit poor, okay, all you're going to do is just gently roll, and by doing that, not only will I get the hips, my glutes, but I'll also get the side of the hip, where we tend to carry a lot of tension, especially if we're running, cycling, sat down office jobs, if we're doing heavy gym sessions, you name it, you're kind of going to get sore around here and down the leg, okay? So it's really good that you hit that one side. Again, once I've done one side, I'm then going to transition over onto the other, okay? Again, looking from anything from 30 seconds to 1 minute. Once I've done my hips, okay, my glutes, I'm then going to focus on my hamstrings, okay? Now you can either place one foot in a bent position, you're lifting up, you're going down to the crease of your glutes, up just above your knee. You kind of never really want to go over your knee because there's only soft tissue there, there's nothing really to protect the back of the joint, okay? So I don't advise you going over the knee joint itself, and it's the same with any other joint. Don't go over joints, stick to the soft tissue, okay, just so you don't cause any damage or potential damage to that area, okay? So this is a nice gentle one. As you do that, from there I tend to personally rotate my foot, and what it does, it allows me to then get a little bit more of the muscle belly as I rotate, because you've got to think your leg is a round object in a sense, okay, as a cylinder, and it's not just going to be dead straight that you potentially have tension, depending on how you hold yourself in your posture or what you do as a job kind of in daily life, alright? Once you've done one side, you do the other, unless you decided to do two at a time. So what that looks like is just lifting up. Naturally it's a little bit harder on the shoulders, okay, so just be aware of that, and I'm sure you are aware if you're doing this with me, okay, and it just allows me to then roll both my legs, saves a little bit of time, okay, and then as I'm doing so, I'm moving my feet over ever so slightly. Now if you're amongst the hardcore of us, okay, the more elite, if you want to take it in the sense of foam rolling, you may want to cross over the leg, and what that's going to do is the weight of this leg and the weight of this leg compressed into the foam roller is going to go deeper into the muscle, okay? So be advised that the deeper you go, the more potential pain you may receive, okay? So just be wary of that, and all you would do is then just lift over and gently roll one side to the other, okay? And what that's going to find is, typically you'll find some sore spots. You may kind of want to hold it there and just compress,
okay, and then gently go back to that and just kind of iron it out, if you will, as you kind of hold that compression, anything again from 10 seconds to 90 seconds, and then just by releasing it and then rolling it quickly helps then the quick removal of the kind of the toxins in the muscle that you just released, okay. Moving on to your lower leg, pretty much the same principle in regards to this. You're either placing one foot to the side, rolling, and again sliding down. As you do so, you're coming up, again not going all the way to the back of the knee, but as you move, you're fully rotating that leg so you get all of the calf and the soleus muscle, okay, as you do so, okay. If you wanted to, again, quite naturally, you just come up, stretch out. Again, it's going to be, because it's further away from the body now, you're having to work a little hard on those shoulders. So you may find this hard from a body weight perspective, as opposed to hard on the muscles, which mean you may want to go back to there. Or there's another way of doing it, adding a bit of increased weight and just slowly moving up the calf as you slide the roller, just like so. That way, if you're unable to hold yourself up, but you want to put a little bit more pressure, you don't have to do it all in one movement. You can literally just roll back and forth and then slide up a little bit more and go through the muscle from right from the Achilles right the way to the back of the knee, okay. From there, what you're going to do is focus on the inner thigh, okay. So you would lay on your side, you'd bring your leg up into a right angle position, you'd try and straighten out your back so you're not kind of contorted like I was, and you're just going to roll inside, keeping your weight on the floor, okay, because typically without realizing we have a lot of tension on the inner thigh, and it tends to be a killer, okay, so just be aware of that. Naturally, now some of us, the pain is going to put us off from touching certain spots. When I first used my orange foam roller, I did like 3 rolls on it on my legs and I was done. So it does get easier with time. It just means you have to put the time in there that is going to help you kind of remove that tension. You kind of really help yourself look after your body, okay, so it's really important that you do so. From here, you're literally rolling right as deep as you can into your groin, and again, literally just before the head. So this is the kind of, although there's soft tissue on the bone, okay, typically it'll be a little bit more painful from that perspective onwards. You want to kind of stick to the meaty part, if you will, right the way down. Okay, so once you've done one side, you're going to push over onto the other side naturally. But I'm going to go through the IT band, so this outer side. A lot of runners will literally get super sore IT bands, which will kind of often translate to runner's knee. So where you get tightness all down the outside from your glutes all the way down the side of your thigh, it kind of pulls your, imagine like you see with my skin now, if I pull here, it naturally shifts my the skin on my knee over. Okay, so what happens underneath is that tension in the muscle and the kind of soft tissue is it pulls the tendon over, which slightly pulls your kneecap over, which then causes tendinopathy in the kneecap itself, okay, which then stops you running, stops you doing what you enjoy. So it's really important that you kind of invest in this type of stuff to help safeguard your knees, help safeguard your hips, your back, everything that you kind of enjoy doing. Literally just adding this in 5-10 minutes a day, every day, will really benefit you, okay? So, IT, kind of sliding over, and what you'll notice is I will put this leg over straight away as I then roll my thigh, and what that's doing is taking a lot of the weight off my IT band, however still allowing me to kind of get into it, which can be a bit of a killer as you do it, okay? So most people are put off by the IT band just because it holds a lot of tension. Don't be afraid to do it, because the more you do it, eventually you'll be a little freer and a little easier, okay? So if you don't need to put your foot over the top, the next go-to is bringing it up and over, and naturally you're going to go a little deeper and it's going to be a little sorer as you're doing that, but however it's going to have more of a benefit. But you kind of really need to relax yourself as you're doing this, okay? So focus on your breathing, focus on calming down, the good thing that I tend to do is, if I'm watching TV in the evenings, I'm typically just foam rolling and kind of focusing on recovery. And what you'll find is, over that kind of hour program, if you will, you may have done an hour of foam rolling, you know, and it's kind of one of those things that you were watching TV anyway, you were just sat on the sofa, and it's kind of like a nice active way of still doing what you enjoy, whilst getting the benefits of looking after yourself in a proper way, if you will. Okay, so from there, I'm now going to do my quads. Now what I'm going to do is set myself up just like so, drawing just like there. Okay, it's now mid-range, and all I'm doing is rolling it back and forth, going to the top of my groin, to the knee. Okay, now there's several ways of doing this. Okay, you can either do it in a straight way like me, and again rolling your feet inside and outside. Okay, you can bend the knee and bringing the heels up towards the point, and what that does, it allows you to get a little deeper into the quads. Okay, because you've now stretched the muscle out a little bit more, you're going to feel it a little bit more, unfortunately. Okay, so it's just going to allow you to get flexibility into the muscle by going a little bit deeper, and also kind of release the muscle, especially if you have a lot of tension like most of us do, into that kind of affected area, just like so. Okay, so typically once I've done the quads, I'm then officially done. Okay, so that for me is kind of like a quick go-to foam rolling session, where I'm kind of like pretty much hitting all the bases and all the kind of essentials and key area parts of my body. Now what we're going to do is show you in the kind of future videos to come, that are going to show later in the series, are how to do a more effective lower body session, so a leg session. Okay, looking after literally the arches of the feet, the whole leg itself, the glutes, the hips, getting a little bit deeper, a little bit more specific, using some of the massage balls that you saw in the previous video, and then the same with the upper body, how to look after the back a little bit better, how to look after the arms and shoulders, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let us know in the comment section how you found this video. Tag us in your photos on social media if you're brave enough, and by all means I kind of fully recommend it, you know. We would love to support everything that you do. Okay, so become part of our community, subscribe to our channel, let us know how you're doing in the comment section, on our discussion boards, add us into your social media. Okay, we'll follow you back and let you know how you're doing in the things that you tag us. So don't be afraid to be kind of welcoming and kind of introduce yourself. We would love to get to know you. Okay, have an amazing day. This is Recovery Lab TV, and I've been your coach and therapist, Chris. Take care.